Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from Arnie's. Happy birthday to you.
April Fool's Day, happy Thursday, happy birthday to Ryan Berning, a Boilermaker that needs no introduction to our audience. Obviously, played at Purdue from 1987 to 1990, part of 2 Big Ten championship teams, 3 NCAA tournaments. That speaks for itself. You're 54 years young today. You've probably never been asked about having your birthday on April Fool's Day. You've already been to the gym this morning, so you're ahead of most of us. But welcome to the birthday Zoom, and happy birthday to you, Ryan.
Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, like you said, it was fun getting up and going to the gym, and sometimes it's not necessarily fun getting up at 4 in the morning every morning, but it's as you get older and realize that you don't have as many days left on your calendar, you try to make the best of it.
Yeah, that's one thing we think about. Now you're young, so you're in good shape. But tell me about your growing up and birthday traditions. I ask people on our birthday Zooms about that and what that. Did you do anything special growing up? You're probably in the middle of school, probably at the end of basketball season, just about every year. But what was the Berning family tradition, if any, that it brings back memories for you on this day?
Well, the biggest tradition would be more the getting my favorite meal for my birthday, which is meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and corn.
Yeah, and will that? Oh, go ahead. Excuse me.
And then obviously it's normally as close to the championship game of the NCAA tournament too. So right around my birthday, so it's like an extra special present to be able to watch that.
Well, now will meatloaf be a part of things tonight? What will be the celebration with your family?
Unfortunately, not tonight because work gets involved, and because we have a home show down in Westfield that I have to attend with the pest control company I work for, and my wife has to work in Carmel, so she won't be home till late. And as we, like you said, as we get older and our kids are older, and we only have one left at home, and they have their families, and so just trying to get everybody organized is a logistics challenge in itself.
A full-time job sometimes, I think, from that standpoint.
Right.
Yeah, look at that, and talk a little bit about your family and what you're doing now, Franklin Pest Solutions. But you've been involved in the Lafayette area community. Really, it seems almost, if my memory is right, almost since you left Purdue and got out of basketball. But tell us about that, and who will be sharing at least this day, whether it be a phone call or in person with you as well.
Well, thank you very much. Like you said, I'm branch manager for Franklin Pest Solutions. Not only here in Lafayette, but also in Indianapolis. We opened up a branch down there, so I'm in charge of both. So I'm doing a lot of traveling back and forth on 65, and kind of like my waistline a little bit, growing it. Hopefully, I grow the business quicker than I grow my waistline. But it's a great opportunity. Pests are very intelligent, creatures, and it's almost like a very intense chess match. Because every time we try something, they come out with something new, and they get smarter, and then we try to get smarter. And so it's a family-owned company, and I tend to thrive in that atmosphere. As far as like you said, I've been here in Lafayette very briefly. My wife and I and family have moved to California, but that was only for 6 months. And I used to do a free basketball camp here at church. And then once we moved to California, then I kind of turned the reins over on that. But also I used to referee a lot too, but I decided to retire from that because I'm tired of getting yelled at. And I did it because I was so used to Coach Keady yelling at me all the time. So I thought, well, I better referee so I can still continue with what I was used to. But no, so it's having 6 kids and now 8 grandkids, and I got 2 more on the way this summer. So my wife and I lead a very active lifestyle. I bowl 1 night a week down at Market Square Lanes.
Yeah.
and we just won the second half of our bowling league, and so it's I'm not the good bowler. I mean, I don't know why I'm on that team. And I'm very kind of like when there at Purdue. I was very blessed with having a lot of very talented teammates, just like in my bowling team, of very talented teammates. And I guess they have to do some charity work every once in a while, so they threw me on the team. But it's
Yeah.
I love Lafayette. I love the community. It's just a great place. I mean, obviously we got Purdue here still, and it continues to grow. I mean, it's a big little city. And so it has pretty much everything. We're close to Indy. We're close to Chicago if you really want to get crazy. So it's, like I said, I just love it here.
All right. Now you're an excellent shooter, a great, but what's it like to be a 6'8" bowler? I mean, you got to be. Does that make it tough because of your size to bowl well? I wouldn't even. I mean, I'm a foot shorter than you, basically. What's that like to be able to rein that in?
You're right. Just the height brings some challenges in the bowling, and because you have to bend down and you got to keep your body balanced. You don't lean forward. You got to, stay up. It just everything. And again, it goes back to like basketball. Basic fundamentals is your body balance, and then you got to just like in free throws, you got to have your proper technique. And bowling, it's and you got to be able to read the lane, just like you got to be able to read defenses in basketball. The oil patterns change. There's two things in life I thought I would never do, and that was watch golf on TV and practice bowling, and I do both.
Yeah.
And I love it. And the other thing that I started doing is running. I
Yeah.
ran 2 full marathons now too. I did the Indy Monumental, the Chicago. There was 45,000 crazy people running 26.2 miles, and that's another one where obviously people think, well, height was an advantage, but it's not, because you don't
Right.
really want to stride out too far.
Yeah.
Because those hips, and as we get older, you got to watch the hips, the knees, and everything else. So it's and when I'm standing in line to take off, I can see the tops of everybody's head.
Yeah.
So they're kind of looking at me like, what's a 6'9" or 6'8" guy doing, trying to run 26 miles?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
fun. I
That's
mean, it's just a mental challenge that I have, and my ultimate goal is to run a 100-mile marathon.
yeah.
So hopefully I got my goal is in 2 years to do that. So
You're good shape, hips and knees. From that standpoint, you've been able to maintain that and be able to keep yourself in good health. That's been
yes.
part of the plan, I assure. Yeah. That's an active lifestyle for 54. I'd say you're doing fantastic from that standpoint. All right, now you talk about your playing career and looking back at that, and playing for Coach Gene Keady and being involved with Gene Keady after, even for years after he even retired. And Matt Painter, you're still certainly a friend of the program. What's that like? What you talk about, that competitive part that you learned from Gene Keady, and you played with some extremely competitive teammates in your first 2 years with Troy Todd and Everett, and then your last 2 years with Tony Jones and Steve Scheffler, guys that are just that like to win, that like to play hard. What's your takeaway now, a few years later, as you utilize in your personal life? What's that thing that really sticks with you about your Purdue playing experience?
Well, and like you said, that I was very blessed with having a lot of great teammates, not only to push me in practice to make me a better player, but also a better person. And realize that some of the reading that I've done for my training and with the running is when you think that you've exhausted everything, you've only used 40%. You still got 60% left in your tank. And my mom actually only came to one practice there at Purdue, and she goes, "I don't know how you do it, honey." I said, "Well," I said,
Yeah.
"Coach Keady says you pass out before you die." So, and I said, "Mom," I said, "you just do it." The
Yeah.
coin the phrase from Nike, you just do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, same thing about the running. And then, like you said, the competitiveness, it helps, and again, I'm very fortunate that it has helped, with my used to be the sales career, now into management career, that, the competitive environment, because just like coach, they're always wanting more, just like in business, they're always wanting more. And so then you have to be able to I guess, if you will, to be very flexible, learn how, there was times in timeout where Coach Keady's drawing up a play and you had to know it, and we didn't practice it. You just have to do it. And just like in life, there's things that get thrown at you and you just have to figure it out and do it. And the competitiveness is always wanting to better myself, my family, and now at work, my teammates are the people that I work with. Like I told them, I said, I'm part of the team. I just have a C on my jersey now. So I'm just a captain of the, just because I have a different title doesn't mean I'm different. I still get in crawl spaces and, do termite checks and, and look for rodents and all that good stuff, just like they do. And I like doing it because I want to be out in the field. I've never really sat behind a desk. I like to be out and talking to people and actually, helping and everything else. So, but and two that, it's guys like, the Troy and the Todds. And I remember when Brian Cardinal one time came, when I had my cell stores, he came over to the office and he's like, Ryan, I'm thinking about transferring. And I'm like, why? He said, well, coach is recruiting under me. And I said, you want that? He goes, what? I said, you want that? He goes, why? I said, are you as good as you ever can be? And he's like, no. I said, exactly. You need somebody to push you. And then you go on and push them. So in turn, you make your team more solid. And I said, that way, when you come out of the game, it doesn't lose that much with somebody that comes in and replaces you for a few minutes. So you got to have, more of a solid team, but you want somebody to push you because you don't want to get complacent.
Yeah, well said.
So thank God he stayed.
And your role in that was as important as being number 15 on the court, and the significant role you played with the Boilermakers in your time. All right, March Madness, and the last question I'll have for you, because you've got a busy day ahead. You obviously experienced that 3 out of your 4 years, I should say. Number 1 seed in 1988, number 3 seed in 90 or 87, I should say, in 90. I don't know, you guys were a 2 seed. Phenomenal experience. Didn't go all, you didn't go as far as you wanted to do, but you played in front of huge crowds at the old Hoosier Dome in 90 and 88. You go up to Pontiac. What'd you learn from that? Because you played really on 2 of some of the better teams in Purdue basketball history.
Well, what you learn from it is first that you're thankful to have that opportunity, and then that whether it's a regular season or NCAA, you got to value every game, and you got to come prepared 100% and understand and totally believe in what the like in my case was Coach Keady and the coaching staff, the game plan that they put in place. And then, everybody, during the NCAA tournament, March Madness is not the time to try to do something you haven't done all year.
Yeah.
And, and that's where I think some of the teams, that this year, not only with our own team, but other teams, some guys have tried to do some things that they haven't done all year. And, I think it's a little bit challenging for, people now that, good thing is that they're starting to get a few fans in the stands. But, they still haven't, like you said, the big crowds, the Hoosier Dome and then the Silver Dome up there in Pontiac. When we went out to, see, I'm getting goosebumps now, getting those flashbacks. But when we go out for practice and we only had an hour to practice, before we played, the day before we played, and there was, count 20, 30,000 fans just to watch us practice, and it was, that was the support that you get from the Purdue fans, the coaching staff, the administration, the whole school in general. It's unbelievable. It's hard to put the words in, other than, like I said, the goosebumps to me at 54 still, and I've been out 30 some years, and just having those flashbacks and memories. And, like you said, with the birthday, now I'm getting some stuff on Facebook and people, sending me pictures of, taking me way back and, some of the stories. And, I got a great friend in Doug Barnett, and he's used to be in NASCAR, and he told me that, he's been around a lot of multi-billionaires, and they all tell him life's about making memories. It's not about what you have or what you don't have. Because he goes, RB, what did you get for Christmas 2 years ago? I'm like, He said, tell me about the family trip you took 2 years ago. So it's, and two, with the experience that you have in March Madness, when you, as well as just every game we played at Purdue, in the practices and fighting through adversity. When Coach Keady is just, he's not happy. And so then you practice is going to just be a bear. And then two, Mrs. Keady used to put him on a diet in the winter time. So you knew once she put him on a diet, practice was just going to be incredible and insane. So you just laced up your shoes a little tighter and realized, hey, we're going to war, gentlemen.
Yeah, he did. He got off the bourbon and tried to trim down. I remember those days as well. Well, Ryan, really great stuff. Interesting. Your perspective is going to be well suited to a very long and happy life. I've known you for years, and you're the same guy, but you've always worked extremely hard at what you do. So have safe travels today.
Thank
I
you.
hope you'll get a little time for birthday celebration. You're going to hear from a lot of people today. That's a big deal as well. And we thank you for being part of our Arnie's birthday Zoom, and wish you a happy 54th and many happy returns. So thanks so much. Safe travels. Have a great day, and we'll talk again before long.
Thank you very much. And nice seeing you again, Alan, and thank Arnie's for sponsoring this.